Would you like to be somebody who understands why the pickup culture, so going out and trying to pick up girls, is unnecessary for guys in order to become confident in themselves? Then listen to this entire video where I explain how picking up girls only makes you become good at talking to girls, whereas the thing that attracts women really is a deep sense of confidence which stems from being competent, being sociable, being well integrated, being empathetic. So before we get into this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about self-development, dating, Jungian psychology, and how to reduce suffering in life. Let's get into it. So the pickup culture or pickup communities are just groups of people who, or usually men, who go out and try to talk to girls, trying to get their phone number, maybe trying to have sex with them, or trying to build a romantic relationship with them. It's just, to go and talk to girls, communicate, interact with girls. And I talked about it in my last video, which I will leave in the description for you to check out, on why I think the pickup culture actually has a lot of downsides. So I went to go and pick up girls with a group of guys about 1.5 weeks ago, and I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it, but after taking a few days off and reflecting on my experience, I realized what I'll be discussing now. So many guys join pickup communities, so where they groups of guys who go out onto the street and then try to pick up girls, in order to sexually, romantically engage with girls or overcome their fear of talking to girls. So a key factor that frequently draws men in to these pickup scenes is the fact that they perhaps struggle to interact with girls generally. They notice there is an absence of female presence in their lives, and since men have an instinctual drive to have women around them, this absence of women hangs right in front of their nose. Thus, they're motivated to solve it, or else it truly burdens men. Now, I think the pickup practice is a distraction, because the reason why they're not good at, let's say, interacting with girls is because maybe they're not confident, maybe they're socially awkward, but that really stems from it's a symptom of something internal, that they're not experiencing enough discomfort, so they're not expanding their comfort zone. So when they go and talk to girls, they're suddenly super anxious because they've never done it before. So that means their lifestyle is not, let's just say it's quite suboptimal. Maybe they're just gaming, so they're not getting out of the house. So it's really a distraction. So they think then, okay, let me go and practice talking to girls, but then you just become good at talking to girls, but not actually building the deep value, which actually radiates and is detected by women, and which makes you as a man actually fundamentally attractive. So I believe if you are socially well integrated, competent, confident in your abilities, and empathetic, then women will be drawn to you autonomously, because you display the traits required to raise healthy offspring, which is what a woman unconsciously, instinctually is searching for. Now, practicing picking up girls is not an integral part of becoming sociable, competent, and empathetic. It can help with confidence in the short term, because you slowly map out the unknown domain of women which you were anxious about before. Like you didn't really talk to women before, but then you tried picking up girls, and then you got to know and how to do it a bit, so you map that out. But picking up girls does not help produce the competence of courage in life, which is needed to feel deeply self-confident, but I'll get to that in a second. So I believe you need to do things like subordinate your ego, which makes you're less insecure then, because you don't have this persona, this identity that you use to protect your insecurities. So if you fix your insecurities, you no longer need an ego to protect them. You need to integrate the unconscious mind into your consciousness as much as possible. Things like archetypes, like the shadow archetype or the anima archetype, which you can look into that in the realm of Jungian psychology. I also have videos on those if you want to check them out. And you can I'll also put them in the description if you want to know more about integrating this unconscious mind and these archetypes. You need to get experience in different domains of life, like at work, sociably, doing sport. So you have a track record. This is really important. So you have a track record and therefore evidence of your competence, which is your competence is your ability to successfully maneuver through new situations and also have the courage to leave your comfort zone in the first place. That's what I mean with competence, sort of, in some sense. You need the track record and the evidence that you're competent, and then you will feel confident in yourself. And that is needed, that those things, those traits are what is needed to also get access to resources when raising offspring. Because let's say, hypothetically, you might, with your family, move to a new town or get a new job where you'll be faced with alien challenges. So you don't want to fold under this uncertainty and these foreign challenges as an adult, because your children are entirely dependent on you. So if you crack, they suffer. So hence, in order to raise them healthily, you need to be brave. When you have developed to be courageous, empathetic, sociable, and competent, you will feel it and you will know it. You radiate that fact that you are relatively developed, and women detect that energy immediately because they have instinctually evolved to detect it, because that is what makes the species evolve and progress. Because those women who, this is really harsh when I say it, but bear with me, women who have not successfully detected men who have a high success rate of survival, those women have, let's say, mated with men who are suboptimal. That sounds also really harsh, but let's say men with pathological tendencies, and then the kids grow up to be, let's say, sounds so like politically incorrect, but I guess in some sense weak, and then they don't reproduce, and those genes die off in some sense. And that's why the people who are alive today, women who are alive today, have developed that and have that coded into their genome, the ability to detect a man who is able to survive. Yeah. And you can reach this point as a man, this point of confidence and value, without having ever gone out to try to pick up girls on the street. Now, a potential counter-argument may be that a man might feel anxious about talking to girls even when he is developed. Hence, he should go out and practice talking to girls. And I guess he could practice a bit, but it wouldn't really be necessary. Sure, he might feel anxious, like if he sees a girl that's attractive. That's quite normal. Like most guys feel anxious. It's just like an instinctual reaction. But when he actually goes to talk to her, he might be a bit awkward at first, but I think his radiating energy of competence overshadows his anxiety. And if he is genuinely interested, he will have the know-how and emotional intelligence to navigate the interaction relatively smoothly and successfully. And of course, he might get rejected, but that won't hurt him that much, I think, because he internally comprehends his value, and that he, despite the previous failure, he is still able to get girls. Like, it doesn't shatter his confidence if he gets rejected. And the thing is also, this kind of guy does not equate interacting with a girl who interests him with picking up the girl. Because picking up constitutes extracting, the way, like, what is meant with picking up constitutes extracting something out of the girl for your own pleasure, whether it is sex or just a phone number. But just talking to a girl out of interest is a two-way interaction, because the guy considers her, as the woman, as a reciprocal human being. He takes her for her true existence, which is a reciprocal human being and not a means to an end. So the pickup practice is in itself already suboptimal, because it distorts the interaction between two humans into a one-way encounter, I think. Because the guy is trying to get something out of the girl and not necessarily deliver the value. He's more value-taking than value-giving. So in conclusion, the practice of picking up does not help a guy necessarily develop that value, that competence, that confidence, which fundamentally attracts women. You do that by getting out of your comfort zone, by integrating yourself into society, being a sociable, moral citizen, ethical citizen in society who is able to maneuver different situations successfully. That means, you get to that point by getting out of your comfort zone and trying and practicing in different areas, because that's how you absorb wisdom on how to navigate these situations successfully. And the pickup practice does not give you that, I think. So please leave a comment below whether you agree with me with that or disagree with me, that you think picking up girls is actually quite... It's not that value creating for a man. It doesn't bring that much value. Or it can actually be a distraction from developing his internal value, his internal deep confidence, I would say. Whether you agree or disagree with that, please leave a comment below. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about self-development, dating, Jungian psychology, and how to reduce suffering in life. Thank you for listening.